Good day, sir. This is Rosalie Albubat from BE Ed Prey. In this video, I will be doing my lesson 2, which is factors contributing to multi-grade, multi-age, and multi-level classroom. And let us start in a preliminary question. Is this scenario present in your community? So far, so good, and luckily, this scenario isn't present in my community as of this time. And hoping that in time, it won't happen in my community, even everywhere. Next, what do you think some other factors why this scenario exists? I think this scenario exists due to poverty, lack of funding, lack of teachers, and the accessibility of the locations. 5 classroom and 5 teachers assigned in the area, including the school head and the guidance counselor. 2 teachers teaches 2 multi-grade classrooms and 3 classrooms are having monograde classes. 1 teacher teaches grade 3 and grade 4, and the other are teaches grade 5 and grade 6. And the concerns of teachers in the past elementary school at Ronda Cebu is the location and the road going to the school, which when having a bad weather, classes are greatly affected because the students and even the teachers cannot go to school due to the lack of motorcycles and struggling in terms of transportation to go to school. And ever if there is any, it would cost a lot for them for a higher fare. Parent artist presence in the classroom would have a number of beneficial effects. First off, it would diversify the learning environment and aid in students' development of wider range of abilities and information. Second, the students would be able to learn from someone with first-hand knowledge of the subject, giving them a fresh viewpoint. And lastly, it would provide the students a chance to speak with a member of the neighborhood and learn more about its customs and cultures. Barriers. However, there can be a certain obstacles in the way of putting this aspect of multi-grade teaching into practice. First of all, it would be challenging to find a parent who is willing to and capable of teaching an art class, especially in rural or economical underprivileged areas. As a future educator and given the chance to handle multi-grade classes, I can be more effective teacher in multi-grade by providing a healthy learning environment. I will do my very best to make my classroom a healthy learning environment. I will build trust and genuine relationship with my students in which they would not feel fear while I am having a class, yet they will trust me and learning would go smoothly. I will know and understand my students well and try to be considerate with them. And in this way, teaching and learning process will go easily and I can say that I am an effective teacher. Establishments of multi-grade schools is influenced by a range of factors including geographic location, economic factors, political factors, teachers' availability, cultural and linguistic diversity, and flexibility and the lack of funding. Multi-grade schools provide a cost-effective solution to provide education to students in areas where the number of students is low and the number of qualified teachers is limited. Multi-grade teaching promotes inclusive education. The mix of ages and abilities provide many opportunities for students to collaborate and learn from each other. Older students can take on more mature roles, mentoring the younger students, cooperative rather than competitive, fosters independence, teachers organizational and time management skills, and would build timely relationships. And that could be all. Thank you.
Hi, good day sir and good day everyone. In today's discussion with my groupmates, we will learn about the struggles and responsibilities of multi-grade teacher and multi-grade students. And also, we will tackle about the factors that affects the existence of multi-grade schools. Now, let us proceed to the first question in the first scenario. How is Mrs. Jones benefiting from her experience as teacher at multi-grade school? Learning has no ending. It only ends when you resist to do it or when you resist to have that learning. But while you are here on earth and living a life, learning is constant, no matter of who and what you are. Teachers doesn't just teach, they also learn from their everyday life and existence, especially when they are having a class. By working as multi-grade teacher, Mrs. Jones learns and develops a variety of skills, enjoys better learner and teacher's relationship, develops organizational and managerial skills, develops strong community relationships, and also, and the most important one, it also reinforces her self-esteem and her passion in her profession. To the second question. If I am Mrs. Jones, I would use the advantages of multigrade teaching to make my workload lighter by building up and enhancing peer tutoring to my higher level and my lower level students or pupils, in which higher level would learn and enhance their learning through tutoring the lower grades in my class, building up a genuine relationship among my children, increasing the involvement of the community, and giving my learners additional responsibilities and developing a richer learning environment for my students or for my pupils, in which in this way it would lighten my workload as multi-grade teacher, and also it would enhance a great learning environment for both my students. Next one. Multi-grade school exists to raise quality education for every children, especially those who live in remote areas. Multi-grade classes or schools may have been established due to a variety of factors, including geographical factors or the location, isolated regions of the communities, political factors, inaccessible cross-border schools, cultural factors, different values and tradition held by the local communities, socioeconomic factors, lack of resources to support monograde classes.
These are the major benefits of multi-grade teaching for both teacher and learner. For teacher, this encourages independence, where they can be more resourceful and have or develop their organizational and time management skills and continue to build upon their knowledge of each child's interests, weaknesses, and strengths over the multiple years they teach a child. For learner, they develop healthier social relationships and more positive attitudes. They become resourceful and independent self-directed learners and develop and enhance their social skills.
The similarities among these case studies in the manner in which multi-grade teaching is practiced is that teachers teach pupils from different grade levels in one classroom and uses differentiated instructions. We think that multi-grade teaching would most likely be the type of schooling available in these communities because of the small number of children living in that certain community, and it is more accessible for them to attend classes, especially in the remote areas where the monograde schools are located far away from their homes or barrios. Moreover, multi-grade teaching ensures students from isolated areas to complete their basic education despite all the challenges that the multi-grade class may encounter. The factors that lead to the establishment of multi-grade schools are the following. First, we have the geographical factors, of which some teachers are reluctant to teach in isolated locations because of the small and transient populations due to inaccessible areas. Second, we have the political factors, of which schools that are located close to international boundaries are inaccessible. Third, we have the cultural factors, of which there are different values, practices, and traditions among cultural groups. And lastly, we have the socio-economic factors, of which the problem of the price of paying teachers, the scarcity of resources in rural areas, and the number of instructors that the nation has.
Let's evaluate the benefits of multi-grade schools. Multi-grade schools also have benefits, especially to the students. These are the benefits of multi-grade schools. First, it fosters independence. Next, it encourages cooperation and collaboration. It allows children to work at their own pace. It promotes responsibility. And lastly, it teaches organizational and time management skills. How does the family-like setting and learning environment in multi-grade schools affect the emotional stability and academic performance of students? Lengthier time with the same teacher can increase trust, understanding of expectation, and positive relationship between teacher and students, as well as teachers and parents. The stability of having the same teacher for a number of years can increase a student's emotional security and trust in adults. It is widely reported that academic outcomes for children in multi-grade classes are the same as those of children in single-grade classes. However, variations occur when academic outcomes are disaggregated according to the gender and by grade level combinations. Next, create a plan to address the challenges faced by multi-grade classroom. In multi-grade classroom, there are many challenges that are faced, such as low multi-grade allowances, classroom management struggles, lack of resources, danger in going to stations, lack of financial support, and lack of trainings. However, teachers showed positivity in their work. The school should create positive strategies that would help them to still have an effective teaching and learning. They may also have fundraising in order for them to gain or to have more educational resources that will help in the teaching and learning process. Okay, next, how can teachers manage and teach students of different ages, abilities, developmental levels, backgrounds, experiences, motivations, and interests simultaneously? The teacher should be flexible enough because we are diverse. It is the most important classroom strategies in multi-grade teaching because the teacher prepares flexible and appropriate materials. These include teacher-guided activity sheets, group learning worksheets, and individual practice worksheets. The teachers must have the enough skills and patience as well.
Designing an educational program for multi-grade classroom can be challenging, as teachers have to consider the diverse learning needs of students with different age groups and learning abilities. Here are some strategies that can help teachers create a curriculum that will be suitable for all students. First is differentiate instruction. Teachers should differentiate instruction based on the needs of individual students. This can include providing different reading materials, offering choice-based assignments, and varying the difficulty of assignments. Second, collaborative learning. Students of different age groups and abilities can work together in small groups to achieve common learning goals. Group activities can help students learn from each other and build social skills. Third, use technology. Teachers can use technology to provide customized learning experience for students of different abilities. For example, students can use interactive games and videos to learn at their own pace. Fourth, flexible groupings. Teachers can group students based on their learning abilities and interests. This will allow them to provide instruction and learning activities that are better suited to the needs of individual students. Next, we have project-based learning. Teachers can create projects that allow students to work on a particular topic, but at their own level of understanding. This type of learning allows students to work independently and focus on their strengths. Next, we have assessment. Teachers should use different types of assessments to evaluate students' learning. This can include quizzes, essays, and projects which can be tailored to the individual needs of students. Last, we have personalized learning plans. Teachers can create personalized learning plans for each student based on their abilities and learning needs. This plan can include specific goals, learning objectives, and strategies for achieving them. In summary, designing an educational program for multi-grade classrooms requires teachers to be flexible, creative, and able to adapt their teaching to meet the diverse learning needs of their students. By using differentiated instruction, collaborative learning, technology, flexible groupings, project-based learning, assessments, and personalized learning plans, teachers can create a curriculum that is suitable for students of different age groups and learning abilities. Curriculum and socio-economic factors can have a significant impact on access to education. Students from different cultural backgrounds or socio-economic status may face various barriers that hinder their access to education. Here are some of the ways cultural and socio-economical factors can impact access to education. First, we have language barrier. Students who speak a language other than the language of instruction may struggle to understand the materials taught in school. This can impact your abilities to learn and achieve success. Second, lack of resources. Students from low-income families may not have access to educational resources such as books, computers, and internet access, which can hinder their learning. Third, discrimination. Students from certain cultural or ethnic background may face discrimination, which can impact their ability to learn and their overall well-being. Then we have cultural beliefs. Certain cultural beliefs may prioritize other aspects of life over education, such as family obligation or religious practices. To ensure that all students, regardless of their cultural and socio-economical backgrounds, have equal access to education, the education system can take the following steps. Address language barriers. So school can provide language support services to students who are not proficient in the language of instruction. This can include language classes, tutoring, and translated materials. Then we have provide resources. Schools can provide resources such as books, computers, and internet access to students from low-income families. This can help level the playing field and ensure that all students have access to the same resources. Then we have address discrimination. Schools can take steps to address discrimination and promote diversity and inclusion. This can include training teachers and staff on cultural competencies, providing anti-biases education to students, and creating safe and welcoming environments for all students. Then we have address cultural beliefs. So, school can work with families and communities to understand and address cultural beliefs that may impact education. This can involve providing education on the importance of education, working with families to prioritize education, and providing accommodation for religious practices. Providing financial assistance. Schools can provide financial assistance to students from low-income families to help with the cost of education, such as tuition fees, uniforms, and school supplies. In conclusion, cultural and socio-economical factors can have a significant impact on access to education. By addressing language barriers, providing resources addressing discrimination, addressing cultural beliefs, and providing financial assistance, the education can ensure that all children have equal access to education regardless of their cultural and socio-economical backgrounds.